Hello everyone, Mike Arnold here, co-founder of Pat Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. Let's take a quick look at LITECOIN. Now when we talk about an ignition bar, this is what we mean. Nice ignition bar above prior highs, blew through our GAN levels, could have been used for stop levels or taking profits. When we see an ignition bar also that blows out like this, what we did was a sort of an ABC projection. So we took this low from the 5th up to the high on the 9th and then projected it from the low on the 11th, and we're looking for the 625 and the 1 extension levels. So the 625 came in right around this 180 level, pretty much where this bar closed, pokey above it, just there. And then the 1 level, which was a full move, was 204, which was easily reached also. Now you'll notice that it did just slightly poke above the last major swing highs before the big sell-off. So that is all complete. We can update our retracement levels now. Oops, those levels we don't want. We want the retracement levels. Okay, so we can keep an eye on there. Now we're pausing right at the 12.5% pullback and this prior projection 1.0 level. This has gone pretty far. If it pulls back more, we're going to watch where the rotation zone comes in. If it moves sideways and then the rotation zone catches up, that means it's a stronger market and it's more likely for the move to continue. After it retests the highs, then the next levels are 224 and 233. Now, if it pulls back and dips in the rotation zone, we'll be watching right around this 25% pullback around the 189 level. And on a major pullback, we'll be watching for the 37.5, which is the bottom of the rotation zone, and the flat sort of curve, starting to curve up, 200 simple moving average. And that comes in at 175. But again, we'll be watching for this and then a rotation back up. And a rotation back up can be an entry. Now, the higher up it holds with a rotation back up, the stronger it is, the more likely it will go to our next levels higher. So switching over to the daily chart, you see that igniting bar clearly took it above the rotation zone. Now we're watching for the first cross of the rotation zone on the daily so we can go back to a much more bullish stance on LITECOIN. So that's your update on LITECOIN for today. All right, switching over to Monero. Monero also not a strong igniting bar, but this was a pretty decent bar. Then ran up. These are the levels we put out earlier. 273.54 was the first level, and the high was 273.79. Now watching for the pullback. We can update this key retracement level to, once I get a hold of it, to that 273.79 now. We're watching for a pullback to 258 with the rising rotation zone, and the deeper pullback would take us to about 247, 246 area, the bottom of the rotation zone, and we'll be watching for a rotation back up in Monero. Let's check on the daily chart and see where it stands. Remember, we always have to pay attention to where it stands in relation to the rotation zone. So right now, it is above the rotation zone, which is a good sign. So the rotation zone coming in about 260. So we really do want to see a close for the day above 260. That would be very beneficial. If it drops back in, that's not as strong. It means it just broke out, but it couldn't sustain the move to keep it above the rotation zone. So that's what we'll be watching. By the way, if it goes through this 278 level, which is a 50% retracement cluster, and the next GAN projection up, 278.50, then watch for the 283 level, which right now is the declining 50-day moving average, exponential moving average. So we have for you on LITECOIN and Monero, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.